his own credit. All he had to do was match buy orders and properties. And listen, this is really all about your evolution here because there's now an ascension ladder. You start off hustling, scrolling through properties, sending deals to verified buyers. Then after you have some experience, you can become a verified buyer and have people send you deals. You see how that happens? You just have to have some good experience and or $1 million in liquid cash. For any realtors, yes, you can use our verified buyers as a way to offer homeowners a fast cash offer for their property. We're in every state all around the United States. I just want to tell you this. You are under no obligation to send CI buyers your deals. We've all looked up how much the average flip profit is, $40,000 to $60,000, whatever it is. It's a lot of money. It's a life-changing amount of money just to do one of these deals. And if you're using the software I'm about to show you and give you access to shortly here, and you find a great deal and you want to do the rehab, or it's an easy deal and you don't have to do a rehab, you can keep that deal. You're under no obligation to send CI buyers your deal. All right, let's talk about the MicroFlip method. And I just want to say this right here. This model is nothing new. Uber's nothing new, but it changed everything. And I'm sure you can agree that 99% of the people that drive for Uber would never be a taxi driver. But they do it because it's easier and on their terms. So maybe you never thought you'd be a real estate investor, but now it's easier and it's on your terms. We all know that real estate is the millionaire maker. There's no industry that has ever produced more millionaires than real estate. That's why I got into real estate, because you can get in with none of your own cash or credit and become a millionaire. Great. I wanted to play the odds. And we did not invent wholesaling. Micro flipping simply accelerates and simplifies wholesaling. We just made it easy, fast, and paperless so anyone can get involved. So a mother from Canada can provide for her family flipping property in the US. So an 81-year-old retiree can micro flip on the side and build up a retirement for his family. So a single mother can create an income while raising a family. That's what we did to wholesaling. So let's talk about the new method here, the MicroFlip method. Step 1, select the property. You might say, select the property? What do you mean select the property? You don't have to search for property? No. With microflipping, you're not searching, you're simply selecting. You don't have to drive around and nail signs to trees or spend thousands of dollars on direct mail. You are literally just selecting the property. Then you control the property. Notice it says you don't have to close on it. You don't have to get any funding. You just control the property in a very modern, paperless way, which we'll show you throughout this presentation. And then you fill the buy order. You are literally just filling the buy order to a pre-vetted buyer. And then you get to cash the check. You know, in many terms, the closing attorney coordinates all of this and the check just arrives in the mail or can be direct deposited. This is the MicroFlip method. And like I said, this gets you into real estate with very little friction, or it helps you accelerate your business in ways you never thought possible. You can be the microflipper or you can be the verified buyer. So here's a fact. Where you live does not matter. I know a lot of you people are looking out windows and seeing all sorts of different things out your window. You might be seeing farmland. You might be seeing cities. You might be seeing an area that's overpriced, an area that's underpriced. Your location does not matter. Remember, here's Liana. She was micro flipping from Canada all the way in the US. So your location doesn't matter. And this is why a lot of people don't get involved in real estate. They look out their window and think they have to do it right there. This allows you to go where the best deals are. And also, if you're actively investing in real estate, this lets you expand into new markets. Maybe you've kind of capped out what you can do in your town. Now you can expand. All right. So it's time to get into it here. Step number 1, selecting the property. Again, being the CEO of one of the largest networks of real estate investors, I can tell you there's a huge correlation between people who are successful and those who run away. And it's all about finding properties at bargain prices. If you can't do that, you don't need to worry about anything else because nothing else matters if you can't find deals. Money always follows opportunity. So you find a good opportunity, everything else will follow. So here's another fact. There's only one way to get a deal on a property. Financial motivation. You think there are some people that are financially motivated right now? Oh yeah. You think some banks are financially motivated? Yep. Some people, some companies, some landlords? Absolutely. This is true in every market cycle. And it's sad but true. I mean, most Americans have less than $1,000 in savings. And this was actually before the pandemic hit. And the coronavirus will bankrupt more people than it kills. And that's one of the real global emergencies here. You know, people used to have savings. They can go to a family member or a neighbor, but now they just don't have savings. People just have debt, but they might have a house with some equity in it and they need some help. And with this microflip method, you get to help people while at the same time making a fortune. As a microflipper, you get to help someone who needs to sell quickly, and you get to help someone who needs to deploy money quickly, and you get to quickly make money in the middle. People always ask me, hey Ross, should I make offers on bank-owned properties? Should I look for vacant properties? What about the shadow inventory I hear about? What deal should I go after? And people get all tripped up about that. And the answer is, you should go after the ones that make the most sense financially. You should go after all of them. But before, it would have taken an army of people, nearly a decade of training, to be able to quickly find, evaluate, and contract these type of properties. So I'd like to introduce to you the pre-MLS. This is how newbies or the average investor can compete with the big guys and win. I'm going to let you search your market here in just a second. So let me just make some things very clear here. This is not the MLS. You don't pull up the pre-MLS next to the MLS and expect to see the same thing. This is an underground source of properties, okay? This is not Zillow, and that's good because the MLS and Zillow are all for retail deals. This is the underground. These are properties that are about to be listed. These are motivated sellers. These are clues to huge opportunities, and you're going to have access to that here in just a second. Whenever you pull this up and you start looking at it, I just have to give you a little disclosure here. There are things that nobody can know about a property. Okay? If a property falls into pre-foreclosure and the homeowner makes up their back payments, nobody knows that because there's nothing that's filed. So there are things that nobody can know, but the information that I'm giving you that you're going to see inside the pre-MLS is information that next to nobody has. And once you learn how to go through it, you're going to have opportunities that no one else has. And that's a huge, huge deal. So I'm going to give you a little demo of the software and show you how to find the slam dunk deals. Because I know you're having a hard time finding deals if you're a real estate investor. So we're going to go ahead and get that solved. We're going to show you the needle in the haystack deals. But before I show you under the hood, let's listen to what Thomas has to say. He was looking for a way to provide for the ones he loved. And check this out.
Hey, Connected Investors team, this is Thomas Hillgardner. It's been about 8 months and just wanted to give you all an update on how my progress has been and what's been going on with my team. I've now closed over 34 deals. I've got 20 under contract. We're net profiting around $18,000, $20,000 a deal. That's in 24 different states. Just super excited about it. I couldn't have done it without you guys, and wanted to give you a shout out and say thank you again for all that you did, and looking forward to more. Thanks.
Did you hear what he said? Looking for more. I bet he is. He's seeing $18,000 in average profits. How many of those deals would you want to do? 20, 30, 40? As many as you can. As fast as you can. Absolutely. But even if you just did 1 or 2 a year, that's still an extra $30,000 or $40,000 a year. Before I show you this software, I need to just kind of lay out some house rules here. This is not get rich quick. And I know what you're saying, Ross, you just showed me Thomas. He got rich quick. I get it. That's the advantage of real estate, the millionaire's maker, right? But there's no effortless earnings. Everyone here is putting in the effort to get the result. My results and the results of Thomas are not typical. But I challenge you to do even better than Thomas has done. There's nothing stopping you from doing better than Thomas has done other than not having a login to PIN. And there's no sneaky or misleading methods here. I'm going to show you how to pinpoint people that are financially distressed and they need to sell. But I'm also going to show you how to work out win-win deals to where you win, the seller wins, and your buyer wins. And not everyone that I'm going to show you is going to want to sell at a huge discount. All right, so I don't want anyone to have mismanaged expectations that every deal in here is going to be a fantastic deal. The data is always going to be 100% accurate. It's impossible. But what this will do is tip the scales in your favor, so some will sell at big discounts. Now let's take a look at Pin Plus that gets you access to the pre-MLS. And as I'm taking you through this software, I want you to ask yourself the question, can I do that? Let's go ahead and pull it up and let's make sure to pay attention here. Come back to the screen. If you've been doing something else, this is what you want to pay attention to, because the way you think about investing in real estate is going to completely change after you watch this short demo. And if you keyed in your location and how much money you want to make, I'm going to pull up a few of those locations shortly. But I just want to start with my dashboard, what I see. I see the areas that I follow in Wilmington, North Carolina. And what's great is I can tap this little button right here and it will zoom in to exactly where I am sitting. So this is fantastic when you're using this on your phone and you're out walking the neighborhood. You can just tap a button and see all of the deals right in your neighborhood that you can actually walk to. So that's what I'm seeing right here in front of me. And let me just explain how I like to use this. Now this is great because you can drag this information over however you want. Software is really fun and easy to use. You have list view, so if you prefer to scroll through things on a list, you can do that as well. We'll touch base on that in just a second here. When I first look into this software, what I like to do is scroll through the properties, and I look for properties that have a high ARV, which is the after repaired value, versus the last sale amount. So for instance, this property right here is worth about $205,000. And it was sold for $42,000. There's over $150,000 in potential profit in this one deal right here. And right next to it, this property, the last sale was a little shy of $60,000 and it's worth $236,000. Literally in moments, I got direct access to deals that other people can't find. And I did something that would typically take months in seconds. That's the power of this software. So let me go ahead and take a look at one of these deals here. Here you go. You can see this property has got a A on a deal score. This is a fantastic deal. The rehab effort is 4 out of 10, so not many repairs on this property. And the value score is a 10 out of 10. This is a huge deal right here. You can see all the information. This person, Andrew, has owned it for about 10 years. Here's the information on the house, and you can even see investor comps. This is what investors are paying for properties that are nearby. So Zillow can give you some idea on what retail buyers are buying for, but this is cool to see what investors are paying for properties. It helps you figure out what you can resell your property for. This property happens to be a vacant property, so how do you find the person? Well, in the past, it would have taken you a lot of effort, but right now you can simply just hit this button right here, and there we go. We have 2 different phone numbers to call. That's a fantastic first start to find and contact with Andrew on this property. Let's go ahead and favorite this one. We'll come back to it. And I'm going to close this property because I want to take a look at the one right next to it. This one right here also has over $150,000 in potential profit. Actually, to be exact, $186,000 in potential profit. This is also a very light rehab, 4 out of 10. This has been owned for 30 years. Wow. And you can see the bank and the mortgage amount. They took out the mortgage in 2008, so you get all their mortgage information, which is fantastic when you're talking to people because you already know more about their property than they probably know. And you can also see some investor comps. And again, if you want to contact these individuals, you hit the skip trace button and you have contact data right there. So I've just accomplished in literally a few seconds what would take even an experienced investor weeks and weeks of time to do, to locate and pinpoint the best possible properties in any area around the United States. Are you starting to see why people like Adam were able to do a deal in just 2 days? Because all of the deals are right here. Now let's go ahead and look at your market. Let me take a look at the webinar box. All right, we have Robbie out in Charlotte, North Carolina, not too far away from my home. He has no experience and just wants to make an extra $20,000 this year. All right, let's see what's available out in Charlotte. There is more than enough opportunity out here in Charlotte. Actually, there are over 4,000 potential properties. I'm seeing some great deals already. This one right here, this is a perfect investment property. Person's owned it for 14 years. You can see the investor comps in the area, and you can hit the skip trace button and easily find the information there. Okay, no phone number for this one, but an email address, so you at least have a starting point. But since there's so many deals, let's find the most motivated people. How about that? I'm going to go ahead and close this and hit the filter button. And I'll touch base on a lot of these shortly, but you can see there are all sorts of deal types here. There are vacant properties. These are phenomenal investment opportunities because the owner is already packed up and left for one reason or another. Pre-foreclosures, people that are in some sort of financial distress. Courthouse properties, those that are being bid on down at the county courthouse. Bank-owned properties, shadow inventory. These are properties that are owned by the bank in one stage of foreclosure or another. Zombie properties, these are in pre-foreclosure and vacant. These are what some people call the hot cake deals. Probate properties, properties that people have inherited and they need to sell. Motivated for sale by owners. We have the CI marketplace deals. So these are wholesale properties. This data is exclusive to us. Online auctions, we finally did it and consolidated all of the online auction platforms. So you can see anything you can bid on right here. Apartment complexes, if you're looking to do some bigger deals, and expired listings. I'm going to go ahead and select vacant, and you can search for property grades. So I think Robbie wanted to make 20 grand. So let's look at the A and B properties. And you can see the listing status, if it's listed or off market, and the repair level. How much in repairs does a property need? Now, type of ownership, you can search for out-of-town or out-of-state owners. And this is just an easy mode. In advanced mode, you can slice the data in much different ways to drill down even further. But let's look for vacant, out-of-town or out-of-state owners that have a lot of equity in their property. Robbie, there's more than enough opportunity here. And it turns out that one that we looked at is owned by an out-of-state owner. And there's so much equity in this property. All right, and the one right next to it. Let's take a look at this one. Over $250,000 in equity. Now, Robbie only wants an extra $20,000 a year. So there's plenty of opportunity for him to hit that goal. Let's hit the skip trace button as we take a look at the mortgage information right here. Yep, we got phone numbers for this one. And we have investor comps there. So, Robbie, I think you'll be more than fine out there in Charlotte. But I'm going to show you something that's really cool. I'm going to go ahead and hit the filter button. And let's go ahead and just do a little search update here. And let's look for landlords in the area. So I'm going to hit show me the deals. Turns out there's more than a few landlords in Charlotte. Let's go ahead and zoom in to a specific area. So here we go. This is pretty granular, right? We're looking at a specific area and neighborhood of Charlotte, and these are all the landlords that are actively buying real estate. Now watch this. I'm going to go ahead and change the filter from landlords to vacant and hit show me the deals. Here are the deals right here that you sell to these landlords. Does that make sense? I just showed you the deals that are right next to investment properties that investors are buying to hold or buying to flip. So let me do that one more time. I'm going to hit the filter here and let's take a look at the vacant properties right in that area. Let's shut this filter off, turn this filter on, hit show me the deals. Great. So here's a great deal. And let's see. So here we have 37 potential properties that those landlords would be interested in that they don't know about, that realtors don't know about, that nobody knows about other than the individuals that have this platform. So looking through this, I'm going to look for a good rental property. $1 million for this property right here, probably not a good rental. About $1 million for this one, even though there is near $400,000 in equity in this property. Not a good rental property. These prices are a little bit high. All right, here we go. This one is in the $185,000 range. This one's $158,000. Both of these are great rentals. Let's go and take a look at this property. So plenty of equity here. It's been owned for 22 years. I can hit the skip trace button and I can call Evan Miller. Oh, got plenty of phone numbers there. I can work a deal with him and then I can hit the filters button and I can find the landlords right in the same area and I have buyers to sell those properties to. Do you see how streamlined everything is? That's direct access to deals, direct access to buyers. And if you need funding at all you have to do is hit the Get Funding button, and it's direct access to private lenders. Tasks that previously took months can now be done in seconds with this software. This is a lot of fun. Let's quickly jump into a few other areas. Let's go to Atlanta, because we had Tammy out in Atlanta, who is both a realtor and an investor. And she wants to make $100,000 more this year. Well, great. Let's find a $100,000 deal out here in Atlanta. What I'm going to do is hit the list view, and you'll see just the deals on my screen. You can see the equity right here, okay? The equity is the profit potential that you could make in that deal if you purchased it for what was owed. Over 100,000 for this one, over 100,000 for this one, over 100,000, over 100,000, nearly 100,000. Nearly $1 million, 100,000, nearly $1 million. There's a lot of great opportunities out here in Atlanta on these different motivated sellers. So Tammy, as a realtor and as an investor, this is a phenomenal way for you to reach your goals of making just an extra $100,000 a year. I know I say just an extra because prior to having access to information like this, that might have seemed like a very, very tall order, but I think you're in good shape out there in Atlanta. Let's go ahead and now search Vegas. Is 3,427 opportunities for you to make that 40 extra thousand you needed. But let's go ahead and hit a filter, and let's find a different lead source that I love, probate properties. These are properties that individuals have inherited. And when you inherit a property, oftentimes the next order of business is to sell those properties. But to find the best probate deals, the individuals who need to sell, it's good to look for people who've inherited properties that live out of town or out of state. So let's look for probate properties in Vegas that are out of town, out of state. And here you go, Kevin. You have 16 properties, and it's not bad when there's a small amount. And remember, this information gets updated daily. So every day there's new properties. When you come in tomorrow, there could be 13 properties because maybe some fell out of probate, or there could be 30 properties because maybe some records got updated and more probates have shown up. But let's take a look if there's any opportunity for you to make that $40,000 you're looking for. Again, the ARV 174, last sale date 91. Let's take a look at this property. So $102,000 in equity in this property. Someone inherited this property and they need to sell it. This property is currently for sale. So you can go ahead and just make an offer on this property. A great deal, over $100,000 in equity. Kevin, you should have no problem maybe making your $40,000 just on that one deal. But there's definitely more than a few deals to work in Vegas. And remember, you can hit the filters button. And now, instead of looking for landlords, let's look, shut off probates, and let's look for flippers in the area. Kevin, there are a lot of flips happening in Vegas right here. And what you can do is when you click on these properties, check this out. I mean, this flipper right here had a $135,000 spread on this property. So when you reach out to them with another investment opportunity close by, they're going to be thrilled to talk to you. Let's take a look at some other flips that happened. No picture here, but a $58,000 spread on this property. No picture, but an $80,000 spread on that property. And here's a smaller deal. This person walked away with a $32,000 check at closing when they sold this property. So Kevin, again, you can hit the filters button and you can find investment properties and flippers in just a few clicks. Now for the final demo, I'm going to search Dallas. We have Peter out there. I like this guy. He thinks big. He wants to make $1 million this year. He has no experience. All right. But he's an attorney, a closing attorney. Okay. You're probably sick of watching everyone else make all the money. And here we are in Dallas. And to find Peter's $1 million deal, I'm going to hit the list view button. Peter, wow. Dallas seems like an amazing market to fix and flip in or to micro flip in. And you can see the software will show you some of the best deals first. That's why we're seeing so many opportunities where you could make hundreds of thousands of dollars on these deals. And here's one that's a potential $2 million deal. Let's just find you a few $1 million deals. $1 million deal right there. And again, to do this without the software, I'm going to go ahead and just say it's impossible. Okay, so we found two deals with over $1 million in potential profit there. I've got those highlighted. I would go ahead and save those, but let's take a look at some of these deals. Let's go ahead and skip trace this one. Skip trace this one to see if we can find some contact data. Yep, you got an email and a phone number there, email and a phone number there. The opportunity is definitely there for you. So Peter, let me show you something you can do in Dallas here. You can hit the filter button if you want to filter through all the deals. And let's just say we're looking for those vacant off-market deals with out-of-town or out-of-state owners and very high equity. Now after you do that search, you can hit the Save Search button. The information gets stored in your notifications. And anytime a new property hits that specific search criteria, you're going to get an email notification. So you can go by county, you can go by neighborhood, you can get as granular as you want, and you're going to get automatically notified anytime there's a new opportunity that meets your search filter. Pretty amazing. So let's go and take a look at some of these deals here. Peter, lots of opportunity, but I'm going to hit the favorite button. Because what I just did is I just saved this property. Now, when I go to my workroom, I can walk a property all the way through this customizable dashboard that helps you stay organized, and it always tells you what to do next. But if you look right here, there's an integrations button right here. I'm going to talk over some people's heads for just a second. But what this allows you to do is hook our data into any other software that you're using. So if you want vacant pre-foreclosure data to flow out of our system directly into an email system, a text system, or a ringless voicemail system, you can do that here. As far as I know, we're the only software in the world that has over 2,000 integrations. So you can have the data flow out of here directly into a Google Doc, directly into a calendar, directly into a CRM, or directly into literally any other software you use, creating automations that have never before been available to real estate investors. We've been all around the country. We found deals in Charlotte. We found deals in Atlanta. We found deals in Vegas. We found deals in Dallas, all in just a few minutes. And again, I'm going to tap on this button right here and it will zoom into exactly where I'm sitting. When I walk my dog later, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at these two investment properties because they're within walking distance from where I'm sitting. And this property right here has over $300,000 in equity. Actually, $400,000 in equity. Been owned for 21 years. Hit the skip trace button. Let's see if I have contact data. No information found on this property. That's okay though, because I know this street. It's literally right around the corner from me. Let's jump back into the presentation. We still have a few key things to cover. I mean, what you've just witnessed changes the game completely. Could you imagine competing with someone who had access to that? Could you see yourself using that software to find deals? Do you see how we've streamlined so many processes to make real estate investing easier than it's ever been? It still takes effort. You have to get used to the software, and we'll train you on that. But once you're up to speed, you're off to the races. This is direct access to deals that other people don't have. So you can find that property to MicroFlip. It's direct access to buyers. So you can instantly liquidate on that property and put money in your pocket. It's direct access to contact data, so you can connect with people that no one else can. It's direct access to money partners. If you find a slam dunk deal that you want to do yourself, we have you covered. And really, this is the one thing I want you to remember. Tasks that previously took days can now be done in seconds. Being a real estate investor without access to the pre-MLS through PIN is like being a real estate agent without access to the MLS. You just don't have a chance. So when I say direct access, what I'm really talking about is push button access. I mean, remember the days of getting a taxi? You had to stand out there on the corner and just put your hand in the air and hope a taxi came? It was tough. If you're on the wrong corner, you're standing there forever or you're in trouble. Now you press a button and you know that the taxi is coming. Now you log into PIN and you know there are deals. You have deals to start working on right now. You saw that. You saw the deals, you saw the buyers. You can start being productive in this real estate investing gig right. So let's talk about how this is possible. A lot of people see this and they say, Ross, how is this possible? Well, let me tell you, it's taken since 2005 to get here, by the way. But Every day, we run advanced searches and algorithms on over 1 billion data points of both properties and people. We sort out all of the deals to find you the best of the best, those needle in a haystack deals that would normally take you months and months to figure out how to find. All that information is organized and stored for you, and we even email you the best deals. All you have to do is open your email. Can you open your email? Then you don't have to worry about